Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is start to arrange my business cards in more of a visually interesting way. So the first thing I'm going to do is close this. We don't need that anymore. Alright, so I'm going to click on this button up here, Auto Select Layer. And that enables me, when I'm using the Move tool, by the way, you have to be in the Move tool to see that. So hit V on your keyboard or click on the Move tool in the palette. And select Auto Select Layer, and this enables you to be able to click on whichever layer you want to move. Instead of having to choose the individual layers here, you can actually just select this and click and move as you will. So what I'm going to do is start to arrange this. I want to align everything, so I'm going to grab it and sort of snap it into place. Snap each JPEG sort of into each other. And you can hold down Shift to select multiple layers. So for example, I can click on this card, hold down Shift, and then click on this card. And now they're grouped together, so we can move them all as one. I'm just going to sort of move it down a little bit. And then I'm going to grab this one, Shift click and click on the other, and then align that and slide it down a little bit. And do the same with the third card. So they're already aligned. I'll Shift click and snap them together and drag it down. Great. So now I want to Shift click all of them. So I'm going to click the first one, Shift, click second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. Now they're all selected, as you can see over here. I'm just going to bring them all down just a little bit. Okay. Now let's add a background color. I'm going to double click on my background layer, hit enter, double click it again to go into blending options. And I'm just, for the sake of just changing something really quick and giving it a background color, I'm going to click on color overlay, and then I'm going to change the color to just like a light gray. Okay? Next thing I want to do is start to organize this into folders, just because I'm noticing that there's a lot of layers here. I want to keep them all organized, so I'm going to click New Folder. I'm going to title it, let's see, I'm going to call the first one Title Bar. And there's nothing in there right now, but I'm going to create a new layer right now to give the title bar some content. So I'm going to use the rectangular tool, and I'm going to draw in a white box. I'm going to call it title box. Okay. Now I'm going to hit T on my keyboard, switch to the type tool, change the type color to gray, and I'm going to give this a title. I'm going to call it business card. I can't see it, so I'm going to change this to be bigger. Okay, business card design concepts. Let's zoom in. Why are we so far out? Zoom in some more. Okay. Business card design concepts. That seems to be a pretty okay title. Let's make it a little bigger. And I'm just going to move it down. Move it over a little bit. And let's shrink this title box by using Apple T and just taking it in a little bit. And let me duplicate this by holding down Option and clicking and dragging. Oops, that's the wrong layer. Apple Z, undo. I realized what happened. I had Auto Select Layer checked, and it used the type instead of the box. So I'm going to uncheck that, click on the title box layer, hold down Option, click and drag, and just duplicate that. And I want to make my name smaller, so I don't need a big title box for that. I'm going to hit Apple T. I'm just going to shrink the height of this. I'm going to take the length in too. to about right here. Now I'm going to create another type layer for my name. Okay, and if I triple click right here, it will select it all, and I'm just going to make the text a little smaller. Okay, and move it onto my box here. Alright, and let me take that box in just a little bit. Great. It's simple. It's not the most beautiful thing, but it works. Great. So let me now give some space between all of these business cards. So I'm going to close my title bar, and I'm going to select auto select again and just shift click on the first 3 front images. So while holding down shift, I'm going to click here, here, and here. And I'm just going to use my arrow keys with the move tool selected and just add a little bit of space here. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Actually, no, I'm just going to select all of them. So I'm going to click on this one, hold down shift, and just click on all the other ones. And now I'm just going to move it over to the left a little bit just so it's more centered. Great. Next thing I want to do is to give titles to each of my cards and background rectangles. So I'm going to go to the first card by shift clicking, and I'm just going to move it up a little bit. And I'm going to create a background layer by going to the rectangle tool. And I'm going to make this white. Let's give it a rounded edge. So I clicked up here to give it a rounded edge. And I'm going to go just like this. And let's format that rectangle a little bit. Double click on the layer on the outside, or control click and use blending options. I'm going to give it a stroke. Zoom in some more. I'm going to give it a stroke of 25. And let's make it dark gray. Actually, let's make it red to match the border, to match the card itself. Alright, well that red doesn't work, so what if I just take this tool and just click there? That's better. Okay. And let's give it a slight gradient overlay. Okay, now it's not completely white, which I kind of like. Alright. I'm going to shift click on these 2 layers and just sort of bring them down a little bit. And I'm going to give this a title. I'm going to call it Ruby Radiance. But you can't see it, so I need to change the color. I'm going to change it to a dark gray. And I'm going to make it a little bigger. And I'm going to align it to the left. That looks pretty good.